On Trump's first day of office, he fired off a ton of immigration executive orders, so let's review all of them together. The first executive order, and the most shocking, would be ending birthright citizenship. I'm not kidding. He is trying to revoke birthright citizenship from children who were actually born here in the United States with parents who are also undocumented. Now, this one's not going to be as easy for him because that would literally require him to amend the Constitution. Birthright citizenship is an amendment that anyone who's born in the United States is entitled to. So if you're born in the United States, you get automatic citizenship under the 14th Amendment. Now, can Trump just yell out an executive order and with strike of a pen amend the Constitution? Absolutely not. So it doesn't make sense to legal professionals and analysts as to why he would attempt to do this with an executive order, because clearly he's been advised against it. In order for Trump to get this done, 2/3 of Congress would have to pass it. Supreme Court has to allow it. It's already been filed as a lawsuit in litigation by 18 states, as well as the District of Columbia and the ACLU. Trump also announced the removal of CBP One. So CBP One app is an app where migrants at the border can schedule their asylum interviews. They basically schedule a credible fear interview where they meet with the Border Patrol officer, where the officer will then determine if they do have sort of a preliminary fear of persecution if they return to their country. They will then temporarily be allowed into the country and wait for their asylum case to be adjudicated. However, that's not the case anymore. So not only did Trump cancel all CBP One appointments when it came to that app, it makes sense because he also invoked the Remain in Mexico policy, which does require asylees basically to remain in Mexico while they wait for their case to get adjudicated. Under the Biden administration, this policy was then revoked by Biden, where basically he allowed asylees to remain in the United States while they wait for the adjudication of their case, which actually makes sense because they're seeking refuge in the United States. So now, what's the point of applying for asylum? Traditionally, under the Biden administration, in order for ICE to enter any of these sensitive areas, they had to seek more approval from upper management. Now, they are being encouraged to go into literal hospitals and schools and traumatize children by detaining and deporting their own. Trump has also created a procedure that speeds up deportations. Basically, he's able to fast track expedited removals for anyone who has been in the United States for less than 2 years. If you are in the United States less than 2 years, you are currently under ICE jurisdiction, which means you aren't entitled to due process of the law, which basically means that Trump is able to expedite a removal, meaning he's able to deport someone quickly without their day in court. He is also ending the catch and release program, which he did in his prior administration, so we expected that, but basically he's not allowing immigrants to wait in the United States while they wait for their final court date before being removed. Obviously, this is creating a massive fear among children here in the United States. They're afraid that their parents are going to get deported from them and taken from them while they are at school. Schools are afraid. They're preparing for their children in their classes to be deported. They're actually handing out Know Your Rights cards to children and their families in sanctuary cities. However, these orders have not been met without angst and issue and conflict. The ACLU, states, sanctuary cities, governments, governors, lawyers like myself are protesting. We're educating immigrants on their rights. We're handing out Know Your Rights cards. Sanctuary cities are actively refusing to comply with ICE because they shouldn't. It's not their job. It's going to be a tough next 4 years, and I believe a lot of our social media channels are starting to be censored except for this one. So please comment, subscribe, and follow along. I'm really going to be advocating for you guys and educating you on how to protect yourself in the next 4 years.